Good afternoon, April. How are you today?
Doing well, thank you. How are you?
Very good. Thanks for asking, and thanks for allowing me to record this portion of the interview. It's been a pleasure speaking with you thus far, learning a little bit about your experience and what you've done and what you're looking for ideally. So, why don't you tell me about the position that you are currently working for? First of all, what company are you working for?
Currently, I'm working for Human People Solutions or Human RPO, and just a little bit about the company itself. I feel like it's an amazing company. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's just I want to definitely branch out and look into like other opportunities as well. And they're very culture based. They're very a company that kind of prides themselves on having excellent engagement within their employees. And that's definitely something that I do admire with them. And then some of the things that I do within the company, that's more the recruiting side. So kind of sourcing applicants for hard to fill roles is mainly what I do. And I focus more on ICU nurses. And in the past, I've done leadership roles where I've had to source for them within hospital settings. So it could be for ICU, NICU, or any one of the units within the hospital. And then prior to that, within the same company, I also would source for within the med-surg units and the neuroscience units for nurses within them as well. So it's very heavily sourcing and just kind of finding candidates on my own instead of organic ones.
Sure. What methods did you use for that?
Typically, we use Indeed, LinkedIn. We also do text recruiting, where we will kind of aggregate a list of candidates that have kind of already applied and may have been passed on for one reason or another. And we kind of re-engage those candidates to see if they might still be interested in a different role or qualify for a different role, and then kind of just gauge it from there as well.
Okay.
We also do email blasts, and I do believe it is I forget what the name of the actual company that they use. I think it's something Monkey that they use, not Survey Monkey, but something along those lines we use to kind of send out those email blasts as well.
Okay, great. And were you doing full cycle recruitment?
We didn't necessarily kind of onboard them within this company, but a previous company that I did work for, I had the opportunity to do I-9 paperwork and kind of bring them on through training and development and things of that nature as well. And I also sat in on the interviews as well as actually doing the phone screens initially.
Okay, great. Let's see here. And you have your degree from UCF, I see.
Yes.
Let's see. What company were you doing the other recruiting or the full cycle?
The initial one would be Active Engage. So I was doing executive or kind of admin work there. So I'd be helping the HR director who would kind of source candidates and kind of bring people on and make sure that they're brought through the entire cycle process. And then if need be, I would kind of pitch it and train as well. If somebody was out within training. So I would be able to help them because I was a supervisor prior to that. So I had more intimate knowledge on how to kind of train somebody within those roles.
Okay. And I'm looking at your resume here, and I see your technical skills, of course, the Microsoft suite.
Correct.
Okay. And Paycor, PeopleFluent and Oracle recruiting.
Correct.
Okay, great. And of course, the Google platform as well. So Paycor, were you working and doing anything with payroll on any of the positions, like approving hours or, submitting requests for that?
I would occasionally help the HR director with inquiries and things of that nature, and then looking into their hours to make sure that the hours were correct and they kind of matched up with the times that they clocked in. So I'd kind of aggregate that information if needed as well. Okay. And then in addition to that, not necessarily on the payroll side, but on kind of like an accounting side, I would also process checks for the clients that would kind of come in, and I would process those through the, it was called a toaster essentially. So it was like an electronic machine that would feed the checks through. So they would be electronically deposited into the bank account. And then I would work with the director of accounting, and she would help me to make sure that everything was done correctly, and she got her stamp of approval on everything that I had done.
Okay, great. Thank you, April. My last question for you is, how do you feel that you learn best? What's the best strategy for you for learning new things?
For me, it's more hands-on. So if somebody's kind of teaching me and allowing me to do it myself, I feel like I work the best doing that. Just being able to actually get the, the mind-body connection between doing something and learning something. It's kind of the best thing. And then also teaching it to somebody else kind of helps to reinforce that for me. So
Yeah,
both of
absolutely.
those.
Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and stop this portion of the interview. You are definitely a um, asset, I would think, to any company. I really thoroughly enjoyed talking to you, but I don't want to hang up yet. So I'm just going to stop this, but I'll come right back to you in just a sec.
Okay, perfect.